رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Last session, we went through the Arabic alphabet. This session, you have an exercise in the book in which you should try and write the missing letters. This is a good practice in order to understand the order of the Arabic letters in the alphabet, and it gives you familiarity. So I would suggest to go over the Arabic letters and start to try and memorize them in order. So Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha, Dal, Dha, Ra, Za, and continue on. Once you've learned it, or you are learning it, and you want to test your knowledge, you should try and complete this exercise. I would recommend using a pencil so you can rub out and try again as many times as you would need to. We're now going to move on to the vowels. So we did say that we will go through, and these are called short vowels. So I'm not going to elongate them. They are, as we saw in the PowerPoint, there's a stroke on top. When I place a stroke on top of the letters, it is an A sound. It is called a fatha, and it is an A vowel sound, as in English, like cat, a, the A sound. What we have done is on these Arabic letters, remember I said to you, some of these are the names of the letters will change once I put a vowel on them. So alif will no longer be pronounced as alif. Once I put a vowel on top of the hamza with alif, okay, which is we call hamza qata, it becomes a. Once I put a fatha, this stroke on top of a letter, it becomes ba. Remember, this stroke is called this vowel. We call it a vowel. So it is a vowel. Just as in English, we have the vowel a, a. In English, we have the vowel a. The equivalent to that in Arabic is the fatha a, the sound a. However, in English, we call this a vowel. In Arabic, we call this one a fatha. Now, the vowel is it is the same for a, e, u. But in Arabic, the name of each vowel changes. So for this one, it's a fatha, and the fatha is this one that is on top of the line because it indicates that it goes on top of the letter. So anytime you see this stroke on top of a letter, it is the a sound. It is the a sound. So abata, and then you continue learning. We'll go through these in in a short while. You're now going to go through the E sound. So here, so we've just looked at the A, which is on top of the letter. Now, under the letters, there is a stroke, and that is called a kasra. Now, this stroke sounds like an E or an I, I. And in English, it's more like an I here. E, E, E sound. So you're going to say E, B, D. Remember at the beginning when we put the fatha, we said A, Ba, Da. So all we do is put an A sound after each letter. A, B, B, Ba. Instead of saying Ba, we say Ba, Ta, 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 Tha, Tha, Tha. Instead of saying G, I take the sort of sound of the first letter, J, G, and I put A vowel sound, Ja. So aba, da, tha, ja, ha, and so on. Here I'm putting the kasra, so I'm going to put an E sound, E, B, D, C, G. Here we're going to use the dhamma. Now the dhamma indicates the U or the U sound in English, the vowel sound U or U, U, U. So on the letters, on top of the letters, I'm going to place a dhamma, and that becomes U, U, Bu, Du, Su, Ju. Remember, when I put a vowel, which is A, the letters sound like abata. When I put the kasra, they sound like EBD. When I put the dhamma, it becomes ubutu. These three are vowels. Okay, in English, they would be called vowels like a, e, u. In Arabic, we have different names for these vowels. So we have the fatha, we have the kasra, and we have the dhamma. The reason why I skipped that because we're going to do it here all together. So we have a fatha, a kasra, and a dhamma. So we're going to go through reading of these vowels together, inshallah. A, I, U. Ba, bi, bu. Don't say ba, bi, bu. Don't put like an hamza. Don't put like this hamza after each letter. Again, I, U. Let the air go out through your throat and out of your mouth. I, U. Ba, bi, bu. Da, di, do. Remember the articulation point. Where should you be placing your tongue? I'm now going to place my tongue at the top and the bottom incisors and catch the tip of the tongue and say tha, thi, thu. I'm catching the tip of my tongue. Tha, thi, thu. Going to touch the middle part of my tongue to the roof of the mouth. So it's directly touching it. There's no space between the two. Jeem. This letter is Jeem. When I put a vowel on top of Jeem, it stops sounding like the Jeem and it becomes phonetic. So we're saying them as phonics. Phonetically is Ja, Ji, Ju. Ha, he, hu. Ha, he, hu. Da, di, do. The, the, Ra, the, ru. Heavy, light, heavy. Raw at the bridge of the mouth. If you feel, have a touch inside your mouth, you'll feel this raised part. I'm going to put my tongue there. Raw, raw at the end part of that bridge. At the beginning of that bridge, I'm going to put my tongue, tip of my tongue there, and I'm going to say the. I'm not going to raise it too far back. Raw, the. Heavy, light. Raw, the. Heavy again. Ru. Raw, the. Ru. Heavy, light, heavy. Zazizu, Sasisu. Sheen, letter Sheen. Sha, she, shu. Doesn't become Sheen. Sha, she, sha, she. Okay, becomes Sha, she, shu. Sod. Sod becomes Saw, si, su. And it's heavier than the Sa. Here, Sa, si, su. Here, Saw, si, su. Remember, I'm bringing the tip of my tongue to the top part of the rear of my bottom incisors. So I'm going to touch the rear of my bottom incisors, the lower incisors, I'm touching the rear of it, but I'm touching the top end of my teeth. Here I'm touching the bottom end of my teeth where the gum line meters where the meeting line of the gum line and teeth are. So sa, si, su. Now slide your tongue up and say so, si, su. Side of the tongue, heavy letter, do, di, do. Heavy letter again. So, ti, tu. Very different to te, ti, tu. I'm using the tip of my tongue. Te, ti, tu. So, ti, tu. Tho, the, zu. Raising my tongue and just touching the outside part of my top two incisors. Ain. Ain becomes, when with the fatha, ah, 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 softening. I, u. E, O. Soft. All of these are soft. E, O. Heavy. Goggling sound. Go, gi, gu. Fa, fi, fu. Heavy. Ko, 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 ki, ku. Say ko, ki, ku. If you're struggling, do ko, 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 ko. But that's not how we pronounce the letter. So we don't say ko, 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 ki. No, that's just a little trick that I've allowed my students to use in order for them to say this letter correctly. So again, ko, ki, ku. Next, ke, ki, ku. Le, li, lu. So this is lam. Remember lam. Le, li, lu. This is meme. Meme becomes with the vowels me, mi, mu. Noon, ne, ni, nu. Ha, ha, he, hu. Not same. Ha, he, hu. Ha, he, hu. This is wow becomes where we woo. Where we woo. This is ya and becomes ya, ye, you. So some of the letters, they're pronounced and they sound phonetically the same. So ba is the name of the letter. The letter is pronounced as ba. With the voweling, it doesn't change. So phonetically sounds the same. Bear, bear, be, boo. Jeem does change phonetically. So instead of saying jeem, we pronounce the letter as jeem, and then when we start to add the vowels in, we say ja, ji, ju. Same with sod and dod. They sound very different when we pronounce these letters, but once we put the vowels on, they sound like so, si, su, do, di, do. Same with the thaw. No, not with the thaw, sorry, with the which letter was it? Meme. Wow. Okay. So have a go and practice these different vowels. Go through the video again and just familiarize yourself with these vowels, short vowels. So we don't want to stretch them. We don't want to say e, u. That will come later. So at the moment, we're just doing short vowels, e, u. Have a good practice because you will need to know this very well before you begin reading the Quran or the Qaeda, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.